Good evening and thank you for joining us as we begin a new week together. Tonight we are learning more about the investigation into that near collision of two passenger planes at JFK Airport in New York, putting the lives of more than 300 people at risk. Plus, one of the deadliest days for civilians in Ukraine since the war began. At least 40 people killed, including 3 children, after a Russian missile attack on an apartment building in Dnipro. How the U.S. is responding. But first, President Biden is facing growing criticism tonight from both parties after the newest discovery of classified material at his home in Delaware and after demands from House Republicans for visitor logs to that property. We're learning new information tonight. There are no logs. CBS's Adriana Diaz was the first to report this story and is here to start us off again tonight. Good evening, Adriana.
Good evening, Norah. The document disclosures continued this weekend in what's become an expanding legal and political headache for the White House.
How do you think that the classified documents got into your boxes?
The president today ignored questions about the disclosure of 5 more classified pages at his Wilmington home as the demand for answers from the White House from both parties increased.
We have a serious trust issue.
In a letter, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer told White House Chief of Staff Ron Klain the White House must provide the Wilmington residents' visitor log. But a White House spokesman told CBS News there's no such thing. Like every president across decades of modern history, his personal residence is personal. What was your response when the White House or the Secret Service told you that no such logs existed?
I find that hard to believe. It's very hard to believe because the Secret Service you would assume, would vet people before they would be granted entry into the former vice president's home or certainly the current president's home. But, let's take them at the word and said they weren't.
The latest disclosure of classified materials came Saturday when White House counsel Richard Sauber announced he'd gone to the Wilmington house Thursday evening to hand over a single-page document found earlier. While I was transferring it to the DOJ officials who accompanied me, he wrote, 5 additional pages with classification markings were discovered. Democrats are also voicing concern.
I'd like to know what these documents were, whether there was any risk of exposure and what the harm would be.
Presidents and vice presidents can take classified records home with little accounting of what they have and where, says former acting CIA Director Michael Morrell.
They're cut slack because of who they are. And I think that's what has to end, right? Somebody needs to be put in charge of knowing what information has gone to the residents and making sure that that information comes back.
At the end of an administration, both classified and unclassified government documents belonging to a president or vice president must be turned over to the National Archives. Nor the special counsel is expected to start as early as this week. He'll be gathering a team to dig in to why those documents were not at the archives.
Yeah, and what was in them. Adriana Diaz, thank you so much.